It says preparing to live stream the webinar. Setting up for YouTube Live. Done. Redirecting YouTube. All right. I can see that it is now done, or it's now streaming. So it's now 10 o'clock Danish time. And with me here today, I have Julian Goldie, the legend, the young legend, but nevertheless the legend in AI SEO. And I'm extremely happy to have you here, Julian, because I don't have time to watch all of your videos because you make, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 a day. So I mean, if I have to watch them all, I could do that would be my
You
full-time
couldn't get
job.
much more done. Yeah, yeah.
That would be my full-time job. Yeah, but I've been looking so much forward to this webinar today, Julian, because when we're talking about AI SEO, we are all extremely interested in AI. And all of those guys that are watching and girls that are watching this webinar are also interested in SEO. And you're kind of like the front man, the leading person in combining AI tools and AI, the way of AI thinking methodology into and applying it to SEO. So that's why I wanted to talk to you today. I am myself particularly interested in YouTube SEO and YouTube AI SEO, but I know that the majority of the audience will probably be interested in normal AI SEO, optimizing an SEO article, stuff like that. So how are you, Julian? Are you doing good? Everything
I'm doing
good?
great. Yeah, better for being here. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it's awesome. And so just a personal question. Are you living, are you in the United Kingdom now, or are you, where are you
I'm based
geographically?
in I'm based in Asia. So actually just got back from a trip to Japan this weekend, so that was interesting.
Ah,
But yeah, I do go back to the UK a couple of times a year, but I don't live there. Yeah.
Japan. Arigato gozaimashita.
You speak better Japanese than me for sure.
I know. No, it's just I trained karate for many years when I was young, so I know
Oh,
these
wow.
basic Japanese. So you got back from Japan, and
That's it.
so you're in Thailand now.
Yeah, yeah, I'm in Thailand now. Obviously you got Chiang Mai SEO coming up as well in a couple of months, so that should be good too. Looking forward to that.
Nice, nice. Yeah, so but let's get to the topic. So AI SEO and YouTube and everything. I don't even know where to start because you're making so many videos. So I'll just ask about your YouTube channel has now, I think it's close to 300,000 subscribers, which is insane. So how many years did it actually take you to grow to 300,000? It's crazy. And do you get
Yeah,
three of these silver platters, or you only get ones? Or
you only get one actually. I've got one behind me, and
yeah, yeah,
you know what? Actually, it's funny because when it arrived, I had a dent in it. So I've got this plaque and it's beautiful, but like if you look at it in the right light, you can see like a little dent in it. I might have to order another one.
oh,
Um,
yeah,
but yeah, so like for me, I mean, I started when COVID first happened. Actually, that's what really triggered it because obviously you were spending a lot more time indoors. I was actually in Taiwan at the time,
yeah.
and me and my friend we agreed on doing a 30-day challenge. So post a video every day, 30 days. It would usually take me about 8 hours just to record one video.
Mm,
And that video would be terrible and quite
yeah.
cringe-worthy to watch back today. And so I was publishing videos about SEO every day, honestly, at that point, and probably for like 2 or 3 years afterwards, until ChatGPT got released, I was getting maximum, absolute maximum, like 200, 300 views per video. So it was a very, very slow start.
So the 30-day challenge, that's interesting. So you posted, so you and your friend agreed, or trying to shoot one video, upload it to your channel, and then you just do it once per day.
Exactly, yeah. So
Yeah,
usually about 12 p.m. each day I'll go home, set up I mean back then it was super hard as well because people were into like more polished content on YouTube. So it wasn't just like you'd record your screen. It'd be like, right, you set up your mobile, you gotta have a proper microphone, you gotta have proper lighting, and then I would record a video of me talking about SEO in front
yeah.
of the camera.
Yeah.
And I wasn't as articulate back then as I am now, which meant that it would take ages to get a really good cut and to be, sort of normal on camera,
Yeah,
feel
yeah,
comfortable.
exactly. Relaxed and not
Yeah,
shouting
that's it.
into the microphone and not being boring, sounding like a mortician or Undertaker or something. Yeah, I know exactly, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah,
Yeah, that's it.
and then but then what happened with ChatGPT? I mean, because you were shooting videos like we're making a video now, so you had the camera and the microphone, but what changed with ChatGPT? What happened there?
So what happened there was I recorded a video about ChatGPT SEO because I was messing around a lot with like ChatGPT and some affiliate sites I had. I kind of was so curious to see, okay, can ChatGPT content actually rank and how far can you take it? So for me, I was experimenting, publishing content with ChatGPT every day, and I just recorded a video. I was like, look, guys, this is how I've done it. This is the system I've set up. This is how much content I'm creating. Here's the analytics after a week of doing this. And all of a sudden, it was the first video ever I did about ChatGPT and the first ever video that actually got over 10,000 views. And when I saw the analytics, I was like absolutely shocked. I couldn't believe that people were actually watching my videos. It
You
wasn't
got
like that for the
10,000
past.
views for one video about ChatGPT.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, there's something is different here. Like, there's a much bigger demand for ChatGPT SEO content, like 100x demand
Yeah.
versus like just doing your standard how to build backlinks video, for example. And so I was like, right, okay, let's test that again. Let's see if it was just a fluke or if it's actually going to get views again. So after I recorded that video, 24 hours later, right, let's record another one. Boom, another 5K views. I was like, okay, we're on to something here. Like something has totally flipped the game when it comes to ChatGPT and SEO. So at that point, and this was very early 2023, so this was probably like February, March 2023. I was like, right, this is working so well. When it's easy, you go as hard as you can. So I'm
Mm,
just gonna publish videos every single day. And
mm,
after that, I did, and the channel just blew up. It started. It got to the point where nobody knew me. Like I was the SEO nobody knew
mm.
back then,
Yeah,
and this was only a couple of years ago.
yeah,
And it got to the point where my friends who don't do that much SEO were messaging me like, "Hey, I see your videos like all over my algorithm now." I was like, "Oh wow,
yeah.
that happened fast." Yeah, so I felt blessed.
That's crazy. So it took you 2 years to. So the key for your success was two things. It was consistency, of course. So you publish a lot of videos, still do. It was the correct topic, and then you were just there at the right moment in time, basically. So
Yeah, I think
yeah,
I think if you keep knocking on the door eventually, like something either the problem will relent, and the problem for me was just being unknown, or you'll get better, which means that you create better videos. So the quality of videos I was recording by 2023 were much better and much more interesting and entertaining because I'd done all those other videos before that were very boring and not interesting to watch.
yeah. So it's also a question of how do you get ideas because I think that's the that's the problem of many YouTubers. How do you get ideas to create new videos? And I'm when I'm watching your YouTube channel now, you're talking a lot about AI in general. So because in the beginning it was ChatGPT SEO, and now it's all sorts of AI tools. So what's your idea behind all these in general videos? What's the idea with this?
Yeah, so previously, I mean, one of the things that we realized was like when we were creating AI related videos, we would reach the same demographic. So a lot of business owners, a lot of website owners, a lot of people who needed SEO, which was great for the agency. But the difference was if we talked about SEO, maybe we'd get like 1 or 2K views per video. If we talked about AI, we could get as much as maybe 100K views per video or 50K. I mean, we had one published yesterday that got 20K in 24 hours. And so we realized, okay, well, we can reach like, 10 to 100x more people talking about the same thing. It's just like the way that you package it is different. So instead of talking about SEO, you talk about AI in general. And then earlier this year, we actually launched the AI Profit Boardroom.
Mm.
which is a community for learning AI automations and learning all this stuff that we talk about in a way where you can actually just focus and make it useful instead of like watching all these updates. And so that linked really closely to the content we create because now we've got like a system where we can create loads of content about AI. We generate SEO clients. We generate sales inside the AI profit boardroom. Like the MRR has grown from zero in February, and now including the back end, it's over $1 million a year, and that's over in profit,
Oh my
which is
God.
pretty wild. Yeah. So that tied in really nicely to our agency. Plus, it brought in an extra $1 million profit per year. So by doing that, um, we just created a bigger and better ecosystem that was more efficient. So, like previously, if we only sold SEO and we only created content about AI, well, we were missing like, 50% of the money on the table, maybe more. Whereas if we sell AI community and we sell AI automation on the back end to our clients, then all of a sudden we open up like, a lot more profit. Yeah.
Yeah, so what you're talking about there is that for those of you that are watching that don't know about this, Julian has his own. Is it in school or where are you hosting this? Uh,
Yeah, hosting in school.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's he has his own YouTube, or no, not YouTube, but SEO AI SEO community in school that you can join, and I think it's is it $70 per month or what is it?
Yeah, we have a flash sale on at the minute, so it's $49 a month if you want to
Okay,
join.
yeah,
And
yeah. But I'll grab the link and leave it in the YouTube video description afterwards once I'm done editing.
I
So
appreciate it.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. So with this AI SEO automation, so with regards to your own agency, you have this Julian Goldie or Goldie agency. So you have this website. So obviously you're getting a lot of leads from your YouTube videos. But with regards to organic SEO for the Goldie agency website, are you doing any organic SEO? Are you doing utilizing any of your techniques there? Because I know that last year Google kind of like clapped you for talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but what's the story right now?
So the way that I look at it is like if we do it publicly on our websites, Google targeted me and a few other influencers
Yeah.
this time last year.
Yeah.
And so, or it might have been about March last year, actually, it was a bit earlier. But basically, because if we do anything front facing, where it's very obvious what we're doing, Google's just going to clap the website. It's going to de-index us again and again and again and again. So the only sort of SEO projects we do are really for our clients, and also we do SEO projects, but we do them on other platforms. So, for example, like LinkedIn or Twitter articles or like YouTube SEO. We also create a lot of content on Medium and Reddit. And so, like that way, we just protect ourselves. We don't do anything that's poking the bear or, Google might find disrespectful. And that way, we protect ourselves, but we also get to still experiment with SEO. Yeah. And then we do have like projects in the background that we're working on when it comes to SEO, but we try and keep them private because otherwise we just get clapped.
I think that's it. I think that's an extremely good idea. I've seen with a couple of times with the videos that I made about SEO results, and the day after were just gone. So I think
It's crazy. It's
it's
crazy.
just it just goes
Yeah.
so fast. Talk about one thing the one day and next thing is just gone. So it's yeah.
And also like I don't know why, but this and I definitely won't name any names here, but there's certain people in the industry who don't like to see experiments that are right on the border,
Oh yeah.
between
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so like all of
Yeah.
a sudden you become a target that
Yeah.
they go after because it's great for their PR, and then all of a sudden you've got
Yeah.
a bunch of white SEOs chasing you down the road with pitchforks. So that's another problem as well that we avoid.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen, I've had that also that the people feel like that they own kind of like the
Yeah,
SEO out. And if you're talking
yeah.
in public about your own research, but they still feel like they own this research. So yeah, yeah, I've had that. So, because I'm watching your YouTube channel and you have these thumbnails and these titles when talking about 0 to 80,000 traffic or in one day and all of that stuff. So that's not on your own Goldie agency website. I get that, but you are talking about AI content. Could you talk a little bit about what do you do right now to produce AI content that can actually rank? Because I'm guessing that it's a little bit more complicated than just asking ChatGPT, write me an SEO optimized article. You're an SEO
Yeah.
expert, write as an SEO expert and all that. What's your the sketch of your workflow?
Yeah. So like if we mapped out a really simple process that someone watching this could understand and emulate. So the way that we typically work with it is kind of like a four-step process. So step number one would be just finding really low competition keywords that are going to be easy to go after. Because if you do that, especially if it's an experiment where you're sharing on YouTube or you're documenting it, it's much more likely to rank, which is going to lead to more money down the line. And then it also means that you can move faster and you don't need as many backlinks later, which I'll come on to. So step number one would just be, finding some really easy keywords to go after that, like if I create an article about that, we've got a very high chance of ranking. Typically what I'll do is I'll just go onto Ahrefs, go to the keyword explorer, type in whatever niche I'm trying to rank for, and then find something keyword difficulty 10 or less for that particular topic. And so that all of a sudden unlocks like loads of easy keywords that you can quickly go after. So that would be step number one. Step number two, we typically use Claude for writing the content simply because it seems to feel a lot more sentient. I don't know if you've used the ChatGPT 5 update recently, but I
Yeah.
thought it was absolutely terrible for writing content, honestly. And Claude as well, even for writing like Facebook ads, is probably the best copywriter in the world compared to Gemini or compared to ChatGPT 5. So I have this prompt. I can actually send it to you after the
Yeah.
the, the session, or I can put it in the chat here if you just want to steal the prompt.
I think that we can let's see, you can put it in the chat in the Zoom, but I know that we have people watching on YouTube also, so if you can comment in the YouTube chat actually, or have one of your team comment it and just paste it in the YouTube chat.
Yeah,
That
that's
would be
fine.
awesome.
Yeah, I'll get that done. So
Yeah, but
yeah,
I'll put a link to it in the description of the video. Yeah.
okay, perfect. Yeah, so that's basically the way that we create content. We use this prompt, and I've put the link inside the chat and inside the YouTube video. And then we just plug in the keyword, plug in information about me or my business or whatever brand I'm trying to create content around. And that will customize the content to me, my CTA, what I'm selling. So it's not just like ChatGPT generic fluff.
Okay. Okay.
So that's stage number two, content creation. Use that prompt from Claude, customize it to your business. Boom, you're done. So recapping so far, you got the keyword research, stage one, find low competition keywords. Stage number two, create the content with Claude using that prompt that I've shared. Stage number three would be just, and this doesn't take long, but like just quality controlling the content and looking through it and going, okay, does it make sense? Sometimes ChatGPT is going to go off on crazy tangents. I've corrected my team many times
Hmm.
where they've published content that says something that probably isn't true. Okay, mate, you got to fix that. And so just having someone responsible when they're publishing that content, whether it's you, whether it's a virtual assistant, and
Hmm.
quality controlling it. The rule that I have really when it comes to marketing is like, and this is something I learned from Alex Hormozy, which is like, state the truth, tell the facts.
Yeah.
Like if, for example, you're creating an article, you'll find that Claude will often go off on crazy tangents, make up lies, make up stories, hallucinate stuff, and so you've always got to correct it and just try
Hmm.
not to say anything that's false. And then the final stage would be link building and indexing, right? And so
Hmm.
they kind of like merge into two as well, because if you build backlinks to it, it's more likely to index. And when you index it, typically you'll get a few links just to boost it up as well. Usually I'll use something like Omega Indexer for
Hmm.
quickly indexing it.
Yeah, me too.
And
Yeah.
then, yeah, so that's pretty powerful. I think that tends to work pretty quickly. And then for actually building the backlinks, like, we have all these different sites that we can just build links from, or we can buy a couple, or you can do some outreach and get backlinks that way. But that would be the four-step process. So keyword research, content creation with Claude using the prompt, quality controlling it, state the facts, tell the truth. And then final stage is just building some backlinks to that page, indexing it with a mega indexer.
So I think that's very interesting because you didn't talk about because I'm a lot I'm a lot into schema and entities and entity SEO and all of that stuff, and you didn't talk about that at all. So is that just not something that you're seeing is relevant for your workflow, or it's not needed? You know. because being good at SEO is also being fast at SEO. So
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, actually, so one of our like core values of the business is like speed is king. Like
yeah.
try and move as fast as you can. So honestly, I think you know, just speaking 100% honestly, I think you're probably much better at the technical SEO side than I am, much better at the schema and everything like that. For me, I tend not to worry too much about that stuff. I know it has a huge impact, and I know there's actually some tools, for example, like you're working on one
Mm,
that can help improve the schema. I would be
mm,
really interested to test that,
mm.
and I think it would work great. But I know as well for like these low competition keywords, we can rank without that. And if we can move fast and you know get that ranked in 4 hours or 24 hours or 48 hours, perfect.
Yeah. I think that's it's true with the speed beats everything. I wouldn't say that speed beats quality, but quality comes with speed.
Mm,
That's what I observe because if I force myself or if I have to move fast, typically the output is actually higher quality. I don't know why that's the case, but it seems to be the case. Yeah.
that's interesting as well. Yeah, yeah. But I mean, something like that, that whole process, I've filmed and recorded it before, and you know, even whilst I'm talking someone through it, we can typically get that done between anywhere between like 10 to 15 minutes to 30 minutes. Obviously, the link building might take a little bit longer, but the rest of it, we can move really, really fast on that. Yeah.
So what you're saying is okay, I have one last question with regards to your process because you also one thing you also didn't mention is AI detection, and I'm super worried about AI detection all the time.
Yeah.
AI, but you didn't talk about that. But you do have a quality step, so your editor goes over and fixes manually the most obvious. But what about AI detection? You don't worry about that, or
No, don't worry about it at all. Like I know I've created tools that can humanize content, and I think the process for humanizing content is really fast and easy if you have
Hmm.
the right tool in place. I mean, you can like vibe code one or you can just use a prompt to humanize it. But honestly, I think it doesn't matter too much as long as the content quality is there. You know, as long as it's an interesting guide. I mean, like quite often typically if I compare like an AI video that we produce today or an AI article that we produce today, it's
Hmm?
far more interesting and entertaining than a human video or a human article that we created 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
Mm.
I think that the quality of the both the video production tools and but also the AI production tools has increased. And I'm not sure about GPT-5 and the thinking mode, but it's just GPT-5. You told us already that you're not using that, but
Yeah.
GPT-5, what I'm seeing is that it produces extremely long articles, but not necessarily. It's just a long string of words, but not a good
I found
article.
the same. Yeah, 100%. And the same for the ad. Like we produce a lot of Facebook ads, right? So for example, like this morning, I create like 150 ads.
Yeah.
And when I'm creating that content, if I compare side by side ChatGPT 5 versus Claude, it's almost like embarrassing to see ChatGPT's content.
Yeah,
It doesn't feel sentient, it doesn't feel humanized. And
no.
actually quite often one of the other things that I found was when you're using Claude and you use that prompt that I was showing before, quite often the quality of the content is so good that you can bypass a lot of AI detectors. I mean, it depends which one you use, right? If you use something like originality, I found that's quite hard to
Yeah, yeah,
beat versus something
yeah,
like zero GPT. But yeah.
yeah. I think this is interesting. So with regards to when you're producing these AI articles, so let's say that you have an SEO agency in Chicago in the United States. So you're doing SEO work for this SEO agency or web agency, and they want you to produce their blog posts. So how many blog posts? I don't know if there's a typical number, but what's the typical number of blog posts for a client? Or it could be a plumber or it could be a roofer. But how much content do you produce per month, and does it correlate with rankings and traffic? So what do you see there?
Yeah, so we typically recommend like 2 to 5 articles per week if they're just starting out, you know, or if they're not used to creating content. I tend to find like as long as the content is being indexed and it's ranking when you produce it, then you can scale up the volume. If it comes to a point where the indexing is the constraint, the bottleneck, then don't publish more. publish better quality and focus more on the indexing. So it depends where they're at in the business, but like if they're just starting out, 2 to 5 articles per week is totally fine, from what I've seen. And then it's just a case of being consistent with that. I think you're going to beat most websites just by publishing content, even with ChatGPT, even with Claude and all these other prompts and these automations and NA10 and everything else. Most
Mm.
people still don't produce content on their websites. It's wild.
No, they
And
don't. No.
yeah, see, you
Yeah.
can beat 99% of people just by actually taking action. And then I tend to find with anything marketing related, it's a volume game. It's like if you just do more,
Yeah.
typically it's quite linear. So
Yeah.
like if you do more volume, you're gonna get bigger and better results. I've seen
Yeah.
that with SEO, with Twitter. I mean, we started out doing like one tweet a day and then
Yeah.
five and
Yeah.
10,
Yeah.
and now we do like 45 a day and the
Yeah.
analytics go up and up and up and up.
Yeah.
And the same with YouTube. Like we started off one a week, one a day,
Yeah.
four a day. Now we do 8 a day, and the analytics again just go up and up and up. So I tend to find like volume, as long as you can keep it the same quality, tends to correlate very highly with the reach from your marketing.
So Google is always there. So Google is trying to combat this, what we're talking about right now. So the content velocity and not necessarily AI content per se, but they're talking about low quality content produced on scale. So for me, if I was a plumber or a roofer, 5 articles per week seems like a lot of content, but you're seeing that works.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's only one article. What if you let's say you do 2 articles? Well, that's only like one
Yeah,
every 3 days. Is that attainable? Let's say, for example, you're a plumber and you've got a team, or you've got a virtual assistant. Like, very easy to do. You just got to make sure it's done, right? It's like tick the checkbox. I mean, like I was saying this morning, I wrote and recorded 150 ads in
yeah,
like 30 minutes. I literally time everything that I do and the work that I do, and it's like it's so easy to get the volume
yeah.
if you're focused. And so, like, I think from Google's perspective, they're not going to mind like 2 articles per week, like one article every other day,
No.
as long as the quality's there. And so, like, how do you judge if the quality's there? Well, typically, I would judge it by is the content indexing or not. If it's not indexing, okay, you probably got a pretty bad article. And
Mm.
so you need to go back to the process of refining and quality controlling it. But if the content is indexing, then you can scale up the volume slowly.
So one interesting thing is these AI articles. Do you actually see sometimes that they collect backlinks? Because so when I'm writing blog posts for schemawriter, yes, I'm writing them in hand. I'm using AI to help me, but I'm the major author. And for most of the articles, they don't get backlinks automatically. But some articles they actually do get backlinks. But what do you see with this? Let's call it 99% AI. Do they sometimes actually collect backlinks? People link to them, or what do you see there?
I think
I mean, without you
me,
having to ask, of course.
yeah, I tend to find like just in general, unless it's a really high ranking article or it gets a lot of volume, in terms of traffic, whether it's AI written or whether it's human written, very hard to get backlinks naturally. They're actually good.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
tend to find like if we see a client and they've got a ton of backlinks and they've never done link building before, when we really analyze, okay, what types of backlinks are they getting? 99% of those backlinks are trash. And so like I typically find like whatever you're doing, you have to promote it a lot. I mean, even for example, if we create a YouTube video, well, we're going to publish that across like 15 or 20 different platforms to make sure it gets the reach it deserves.
hmm, yeah. I think so. That's actually a good answer that you came with because that spells out to the audience that are looking at this video that you need to do something actively to get backlinks. It could be you could, if you don't have the resources or money to buy them from Julian, you can do them yourselves or build free backlinks. But you do need to do something to get backlinks. That's what you're seeing.
Yeah, 100%, especially at first, right? Like if you're a big brand that everyone knows, then it's going to be much easier to get those backlinks, whether you do the outreach or not, right? Like for example, if you're like the New York Times, they just get ridiculous amounts of high quality backlinks every day because they have such high leverage with their brand. But
Yeah.
like if you're a website that's not getting any traffic, then nobody's going to know about your content. And so like it becomes a vicious cycle until you do the outreach because if no one knows about your content, no one reads it, no one's going to link to it, and that means it's not going to get traffic from Google in the future.
So is in essence what you're telling us right now is in essence that we only have still we have two factors in for ranking in Google is content and backlinks. That's
It's the
the
same, right? It's
yeah,
been
yeah,
same
yeah,
for 30 years or whatever. Yeah, yeah, 100%. That's totally it. I mean, like I think a lot of people complicate it and you can go as deep or as technical as you want, but keywords, content, backlinks,
yeah,
I think it'll be the same in 5, 10 years. It was the same 5, 10 years ago. It
yeah.
seems to be not just the same in terms of SEO on Google, but also across every single platform, whether you're ranking in AI search engines, whether it's on Google, whether it's on a social media platform, it's always the same.
So when it comes to AI tools, I know that I think that you're using HeyGen to create your digital avatar, something like that.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly. So
but do you have other AI tools that you could recommend or that you are using or thinking of using or
yeah, that's a great question. So, I mean, we use NA10 quite a lot. NA10 is very good for building AI agents. If someone's not familiar with it, it can look quite intimidating at first, N8N, but it's such a powerful way of building agents, especially if you're into SEO, right? If you want to create an AI agent that you just type in the chat your keyword, and then it creates the article, quality controls it automatically, edits it for humanization automatically and then publishes it over to WordPress or to any other sort of parasite platform that you have. NA10 is amazing for that. Like you can get if you know what you're doing, you can get that mocked up in a day. So that's a super powerful AI tool. And the great thing about that is kind of bridges the gap between not being able to code, I can't code, but wanting to build your own customized tool. And so
ah,
like
okay.
if you want to build something really custom built to you and your platforms and your business, but
Hmm.
you don't have any coding skills, then this is kind of like AI automation Lego, where you put bits together and you just figure it out. So that's really cool. I really like, something that we actually use for our clients when we're building out reports is GenSpark. So GenSpark is like an AI super agent. It can design, it can vibe code, it can do deep research. It's connected to the internet in a virtual private server. And so, like, when you, for example, plug in some client's numbers or you give it some data from a spreadsheet, it can easily turn that into like a beautiful report that you send to the client. It's the best report the client's ever seen. And we've had a lot of good testimonials and feedback from doing those. And it's so easy to just take your client's numbers, plug it into GenSpark, create a beautiful report and then share it with them. So
Ah,
if you're running an
ah,
agency or you're doing client work, that's amazing.
that's awesome. So it's so you mentioned Genspark at the end here, and this is a so to me Genspark sounds like a tool targeted professionals that actually have clients that they need to deliver reports to, or am I mistaken?
Well, it's far more general than that, but that's like in the world of SEO, that's one of the best use cases I've found for it.
Okay.
So GenSpark it's kind of like a Swiss Army knife for AI. And the cool thing about GenSpark is like if you can't be bothered with NA10,
Hmm.
but you need something more advanced than ChatGPT, something that can build nice reports, that can create games or videos or landing pages or that sort of thing, then GenSpark is pretty cool. I mean, like for example, if you look at the AIprofitboardroom.com, that's helped us grow that side of the business so much, the community. I just vibe coded that on the live stream in like 30 minutes. And it worked really,
Okay.
really well. So like can do all sorts of cool stuff. And it's actually ranking number one for our keyword as well, for our branded keywords. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Awesome. So just to recapitulate or just summarize what you talked about in HN, because I'm sure that many that are looking at this video, they don't know what NHN is, but it's kind of like a big box of Lego bricks, digital Lego bricks that you can just assemble. So you can put in your prompts from ChatGPT or Claude, and you can put in connections to WordPress, connections to YouTube, to Instagram. I don't know how many connections there are. And then you can set up these automations where you can, fetch these keywords, find write the article, humanize it, quality control, post to WordPress, post to YouTube, post to TikTok, post to whatever. So that's what you're talking about in HN. So what I
Yeah,
haven't tried
yeah.
NHN myself, but from what I've heard, it's a little bit complicated. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I would say like if you've got like a pyramid of technical stuff, right? So for example, like coding is right at the top, then you've got N8N below it, then you've got something like GenSpark, which is a bit more advanced but f far more powerful, and then right at the bottom you got something like ChatGPT or Claude. So
yeah,
that's kind of
yeah.
like the scope of things. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. Well, okay, so good to know. So let me just see if we have some questions here. Connor Martin is commenting on YouTube. I had my Medium account banned after I talked about it on YouTube.
That
Uh,
happened to me too. Yeah,
yeah,
you just keep those things quiet, keep it to yourself if you can,
yeah,
or just create a test one that
yeah.
that you don't want to get banned.
Yeah, I'll actually have to change the way that I do YouTube videos after this YouTube video, I think. But anyway, so use cloud links for backlinks. Jesper can explain. Daniel is saying. So yeah, it's because I have this tool called Yax where we produce these AI websites, static HTML websites, upload them to subdomains on Google and Amazon. So that's one of the ways that we get backlinks. And then Daniel says, I heard Julian said that he pivoted from SEO AI to general AI and gets more customers, but won't work better to target the ICP avatar instead of general content. But
I mean
won't it work better to target the avatar instead of general content?
that's a great question. That is a great question. I mean for me, like I monitor the metrics very, very carefully. So I wouldn't do it unless it worked. That's what I would say. So, for example, when we switched and pivoted, it was like, right, okay, how many leads are we getting now? How many sales are we getting? How many sales calls are we getting per day versus before? And then also, how much, most importantly, how much revenue and profit are you making now, year on year, versus before when you were using the previous strategy? And like all the numbers and metrics were up, way up. So it was great.
Yeah, because that we've been discussing it at our office here in Denmark. So the strategy of using AI avatars and or talking about SEO, talking about AI, talking about AI SEO, which works the best. And I mean the number speaks for themselves, right? So
Yeah, that's it. That's
that's what
it.
we have to look at.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing you can do, and this is something we also do, is like we don't just have one single YouTube channel, right? So we have multiple channels with multiple avatars, and then it's just when it comes to, for example, like attracting more customers and reaching the right people, we can have channels built purely to reach that avatar that we want, right? And so like we have an SEO channel with a different avatar that creates content about SEO, and then that generates traffic to our SEO funnels.
Ah, that's a brilliant idea. I don't know if people actually catch what Julian is talking about, but what you're talking about is that when you're talking about an avatar, you're talking about a potential client. You're
Yep,
talking about the person that you want to target in your marketing campaign. So what you're
100%.
talking about is that you set up a YouTube channel specifically targeted for people that's only interested in SEO, narrow definition of SEO.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Because like if we, I mean, like the thing is as well, like you can have multiple. It's so easy to create content and scale it,
Hmm.
especially with YouTube or especially with SEO and that sort of thing, that you're not really limited to one avatar. And then you can test it and split test it and say, right, okay, which one gets you the most leads and sales? I know which one gets me the most leads and sales.
Hmm.
Uh, but test it and see like, okay, if I create content for this avatar versus creating general content, which one generates the most leads, which one generates the most traffic, the most sales, and then go from there.
So what I'm interested in right now is in investigating in how much organic traffic or how much traffic can we get or how many leads can we get from social media. So right now I'm really experimenting with not YouTube because I'm there already, but Instagram, X, Threads, Pinterest, all of that. There are a million of social media profiles. So do you have any words on what's the amount of traffic? So because I know that you're looking at the numbers, right? So YouTube being the
Yeah.
number one, but what comes second after YouTube when it comes to social media?
Yeah, so I mean, here's the way that I would look at it. Just before you move on to any other platforms, I would look at, okay, have I mastered the platform that I'm on, or am I currently squeezing it for enough juice? Because like once you start moving to multiple platforms, obviously you need more resources, more people, better systems. You're learning a whole new skill set from scratch, right? And so like the process that we typically do is like we'll try and max out a channel or get to the point where we're plateauing with growth and then move on to the next one, next one, next one. Um, whilst keeping the quality and the quantity of the content on the original channel as high as we can. When it comes to getting traffic, I would say, yeah, number one is YouTube. And then for social media, Instagram, Twitter, I would say they're sort of like um, very equal. But the difference is if you start an Instagram account today and you start publishing content, it's
Mm,
probably going to take you about 90 days of publishing content consistently before you start seeing clicks. If you set up a new Twitter account, and I know because we set up like, I mean, we set up 12 last week, for example.
yeah.
Um, when we're publishing consistently and we publish about 10 posts a day on each of those new channels,
Mm.
we get clicks from day one. Like
Oh,
literally from day one, we start getting traffic. And I know as well because what we actually do is we put short links that track each profile
yeah.
and how many clicks we got from each profile. So, for example, if we set up a new Twitter profile, we'll track how many clicks per day we get from that, and we'll put it in a sheet and be like, right, day one, day two, day three, etc. And we see that the Twitter just gets you traffic from day one. It's crazy. Yeah,
That's very interesting because that's also what I'm seeing. If I post each day on my Twitter profile, I get a lot of traffic. And
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, 100%. And the other quick win, if anyone's watching this, and Jesper, I know you probably have an email list too. But like, this is something we tried a couple of weeks ago. We sent an email to our newsletter each day, and it's like an AI update, basically like a video transcribed into an email. And it would usually say at the bottom, like, okay, if you want to check this stuff out, blah, 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 booking a call or whatever. We actually just put in PS. If you want to make more money with AI, join the AI Profit Boardroom on each
Mm,
email. That generated an extra like 150 to 200 clicks a day. Just that one sentence. Yeah.
that's impressive. So I'm sitting and thinking of I'm listening to what you're talking about, and I'm thinking of a local business owner watching this video. How can they? Because I mean, you're into AI SEO. I'm also
Yeah.
into AI SEO on YouTube. So we're not similar to the typical local business owner. So how can I, if I'm a local business owner, I want to get started with YouTube, how can we, what advice can we give to the local business owner with YouTube and Pinterest and TikTok and X? How can we get started with that?
Yeah, so I mean, if you're a local business owner, typically what I tend to find when I speak to them is like they've got a lot going on already and they struggle to keep up with marketing as it is, let alone like 10 different platforms. I would just focus on one. The one that I would focus on is YouTube. And I would make content specifically targeting whoever you're trying to reach, right? So, for example, let's say you're a plumber in New York. Well, then you can create content around that sort of topic. If you find that there's not enough demand on YouTube, then you can always, I mean, honestly, I think the low-hanging fruit would probably be Google Maps or something like that, But
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I think like if you wanted to create YouTube content, just check the demand is there, and go from there. And then like if you're stuck on ideas if you're a local business owner, you're probably speaking to your customers every single day. And so you
yeah.
know what problems they have. Just create like a 5 minute video a day answering the questions that they have and just rinse and repeat that. If you can do it every single day, quick like video on your phone, okay, a selfie on that doesn't need to be great audio, doesn't need to be great video. The main thing is just stick to it for 30 days. And then final thing I would say here is like the reason you want to do it every single day for 30 days is because the majority of your learning, even if your content is not good, is going to happen during that time frame. And if you only do one video per week, well then you're delaying your progress by like 6 months. Whereas if you do one video every single day, you're gonna do what most people do in 6 months in 30 days. That's gonna help you grow.
That's an excellent point. Excellent point. So I think that if we're talking to local business owners, most of them would probably get stuck in, what AI tool do I need to learn? What AI process do I need to learn? But that's not the starting point. The starting point would simply be shooting a video with yourself, or
Yeah,
starting point, or you don't need your face, but something, talking about something that's related to your clients.
Yeah, 100%. Like just answer their problems, right? Like for example, um, well, I'm trying to think that, okay, so for example, this morning I was on a call with a potential client and they were just saying like, okay, we don't know where to start. Like we don't know which marketing process to implement in our business. And I'm sure if you're on sales calls or if you're talking to your clients every day, you get similar questions like that. And so like the first, if I was doing a video about AI on a channel where I've never published AI content, that would be the first question to answer in a quick 5 minute video.
Yeah, yeah. Excellent, excellent. All right, so I think that it's 10:47 and I don't see any unanswered questions. Or let me just check here. No, so I know that you're a busy man, Julian, so I want to thank you for coming on. And if you have any final remarks, I'll just give you the word. And let me just say that I'll leave a link in the description, the YouTube description, to Julian's boardroom, where you can learn all everything about AI SEO. And I will also leave a link to his prompt that he talked about. So, do you have any final recommendations on AI? What should we think about in the future, or should we be worried? Is the AI overlords going to come and
I
take us,
think
take our
I
work?
yeah, I think we all had that feeling we at first, like, okay, ChatGPT's out, nobody's got a job anymore. But I think like honestly, right now it's like it's just literally since the dawn of time it's been like this, right? Where it's like humans with tools versus other humans with tools. And
Hmm.
so like it's just a game of who uses the tools best. And so
Yeah.
like if you can just start learning that now, you're gonna be ahead of 99% of people. If it ever gets to a point where it's like me or humans versus a tool, then it's game over. But I don't see that happening ever. So
No, me neither. All right, so let that be the concluding remark from Julian and myself. So thanks, Julian, for coming on. It has been a pleasure talking to you. So yeah, I'll keep watching your videos, and I can see that people are saying thanks, guys. Interesting chats. Same. So yeah, just hold on. I'll stop the live stream.